In 2022, an estimated 5 billion people engaged with the tournament in Qatar. That is well over half the population of the planet, all focused on a single event. And the operation is only getting larger. The 2026 expansion swells the grid to 48 teams, playing 104 matches across 3 host nations: Canada, Mexico, and the United States. This scale translates to immense capital, with recent tournaments producing up to $6.1 billion in revenue over a 4-year cycle. By almost every metric, it captures a larger share of the global media market than even the Summer Olympic Games. Between the massive broadcasting contracts and the diplomatic coordination required to host it, the tournament now functions as an industrial-scale enterprise, commanding more resources and attention than many independent nations. But a century ago, international football lacked any real professional structure. In the 1920s, it existed as a sideshow to the Olympic Games, restricted by amateur rules and inconsistent organization. That arrangement frustrated FIFA president Jules Rimet. He envisioned an independent world championship, a professional tournament that would exist entirely outside the Olympic Committee's control. Getting this idea off the ground for the inaugural 1930 tournament in Uruguay proved a logistical nightmare. In the middle of the Great Depression, competing meant spending weeks at sea, navigating rough Atlantic waters on ocean liners. The difficulty of that journey led to a massive boycott from European nations. When the tournament finally began, only 13 teams were present. Those few participants were competing for the original Jules Rimet trophy, a golden-winged cup that was awarded to the early winners, before it was stolen in 1983 and never recovered. To survive beyond a chaotic exhibition, the tournament had to move away from ad hoc invitations and develop a scalable system to ensure its future. Following World War II, the tournament faced a persistent threat of boycotts. Relations between the European and South American football federations were fragile, and travel remained a point of friction. In 1958, FIFA introduced continental rotation to stabilize these tensions. For the next 40 years, hosting duties strictly alternated between the Americas and Europe, keeping the tournament locked within football's 2 primary centers of power. Hosting matches provided a distinct competitive advantage. Without the exhaustion of intercontinental travel, several nations managed to claim their first titles while playing on home soil. England utilized this home field advantage in 1966, eventually securing their only championship in front of a domestic crowd in London. By fixing the tournament's geography, FIFA created a reliable machine. This stability gave leadership the confidence to scale the format for a much larger, global profit. This chart shows the tournament's rapid growth. After decades capped at 16 slots, the format expanded to 24 in 1982 and 32 by 1998. By guaranteeing berths to untapped broadcasting markets in Africa and Asia, FIFA ensured revenue grew alongside the field of play. This strategy physically manifested in 2010 when the tournament moved to South Africa, a move that brought in billions of dollars in new global sponsorships from brands like Coca-Cola and Adidas. But as the financial value of hosting rights reached multi-billion-dollar levels, secretive bidding processes invited corruption. The system eventually fractured in 2015. U.S. Department of Justice indictments and FBI wiretaps revealed a web of bribery and money laundering, leading to the arrests of top officials and the fall of FIFA president Sepp Blatter. While expanding the grid successfully opened the sport to the entire globe, it also industrialized the corruption required to administer such a massive operation. Despite the 2015 arrests and the public criticism of its ever-growing format, the tournament's viewership and revenue continue to rise. The product appears to be bulletproof because the audience chooses to engage with the historical mythology of the players, entirely bypassing the bureaucracy of the institution. Fans tune in for the legacies that define the game, like Pelé, who remains the only player in history to have won 3 World Cup winners' medals. Or they follow modern icons like Lionel Messi, who holds the record for most tournament appearances and is the top scorer with 19 goals. The World Cup has now outgrown its own creators. It has become a reflection of globalization itself, proving that the universal language of the sport is strong enough to carry the immense weight of the machine that sells it.